Hello, all sentient beings, and welcome to the Transmissions Podcast, where we talk all Hasbro, Takara, and third party. On this episode, we talk about another non-transforming Transformer, a transforming non-transformer, and a pocket-sized figure with the best name ever. Today is Wednesday, May 8th, 2019, and you're listening to episode 328 of Transmissions.
Welcome to Transmissions, the podcast that knows how to find Yoshi. We just don't know how to keep Yoshi. I'm your host, Charles, aka Big C, and I'm joined by the excellent Transmissions team. Jeremy, aka Yakko.
Hello, how you doing?
And Daryl, the Cybertronian Beast.
Hey, how's it going? Let's discuss transforming robots.
That's what happens when Yoshi's not here. There's no one to keep Daryl from screwing with the intro.
No, I see what he did there. You'll catch on. Daryl was completely not incorrect.
Foreshadowing.
Little tease. Okay.
Plot devices.
All right, we'll save that for a little bit later. But as always, we start off by thanking our Donatreons, those beautiful, lovely people who give us money on Patreon and PayPal to help keep the show going. We really appreciate you guys' support. It's what lets us continue to do this week after week. And we have a new person to welcome to the fold. So Brad, new Patreon Brad, has joined the ranks of the Donatreons. Thank you, Brad, for your contribution. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. That was an awesome surprise. Hey, you got an email, new Patreon.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It's been a while. So Brad, thank you for breaking our drought.
Mm-hmm. I was certain there was an error. Welcome, Brad.
And as always, you will get all the perks that come with being a Donatreon, like getting access to listening to the show live, getting the those goodies that we send out occasionally when we get a chance. Any advanced shows we put out just for the Donatreons. And
those declassifieds. Don't forget about those declassifieds that we're so good at doing.
Well, now we should have more motivation.
And of course our the Toy Hacks monthly contest, $10 gift code contest. So automatic entry into that.
And if you haven't joined the Discord, which I don't believe you have, join the Discord. Lots of great people there, and there's Donatreon benefits there as well.
Mm-hmm. Right. That's where you can listen to the show live.
Yeah, or just chat with the other cool kids.
Right. All right. Also, if you are not a Donatreon, or if you are, you can still go to our merchandise store at transmissionspodcast.com/shop. You can get Transmissions themed t-shirts or buy any shirts from our TeePublic store. Buy anything from TeePublic through our link, and that gives us a nice little commission. Also, we have our good friend of the show, K-Girl. She has her own shop that is at teepublic.com/user/superstark for Game of Thrones or Superstar K. So check her stuff out too. I think we have a couple of her shirts linked on our page as well. So help us both out. All right. Enough with the shilling. Let's get into talking about Transformers toys, or generic transforming robot toys.
All right, so the first topic that I have for us today is a product from Perfect Effect. It is their PEDX10 Jet Power Revive Commander Color Prototype, and it's basically Jetwing Optimus from, what was it? Revenge of the Fallen? Yeah, that one.
Dark of the Moon.
Was it Dark? He's wearing Jetfire.
Jetfire was in Revenge of the Fallen.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this one turns into the trailer, and that happened in Dark of the Moon.
Oh.
But he didn't wear the jets, right?
Yeah, this is supposed to look like Jetfire in the jetpack mode.
Mm-hmm.
But it also has a trailer mode, which was in Dark of the Moon.
In Dark of the Moon, the trailer was his weapons armory thing.
But it turned into his flight back, too.
It did, well,
Okay.
Don't make me try to remember these movies.
It's both movies, okay? It was in both movies.
And yet the alt mode is neither. So, okay. So this is a Jet Power Optimus. The backpack looks like Jetfire from Revenge of the Fallen. He does turn into a flat-nosed cab with very G1 aesthetics, with a black trailer. That's what turns into all the stuff that he wears. That does give off a very Jetfire look. So he could be a G2 Optimus with the black trailer. But this is if you've had an Optimus from Perfect Effect, this is their Optimus Prime design. This is the cab that they're they've gotten very good at putting out. They just reuse a couple pieces, and then slap a few new panels on it, and it becomes a different figure. So this is their movie design with the flat nose cab. So you'll notice that it's supposed to be a G1 Optimus, but it's got the front wheels for the cab are on his arms, like his upper arms, and it's just the way that their design works. I have this version in for the what is it, the one that we all bought. I forget what his name is now.
The Power Master Optimus.
Yeah, Power Master him, and so he's a very good figure, very sturdy, and fits very well in the figure that he it becomes an add-on for. So I can only imagine that if Perfect Effect has designed an add-on for their own figure, that he likely fits very well inside that as well. There is a short video to watch as well. It's 1.5 minutes, so take a look at that if you want to see. There are a number of pictures here, so if you want to just take a look at the pictures, go ahead. They do go through and show you the alt mode as well, and it's a very G2 looking alt mode for the trailer. It's a black trailer, red stripe, and he looks pretty cool. But yeah, it's there is some what I would say military, like Air Force kind of logos on it, on the trailer. So it does give off that aesthetic that it is Jetfire's body hanging off of him when he's in jet wing mode. But all in all, he looks pretty badass combined here. Charles, given the confusion as to which movie this is from, what do you think of the overall design?
I generally like it. It's a nice mix of the I guess the live action movie kind of combined robot Jetfire mode, the armor jet armor mode, but it's got a G1 aesthetic. I like the Prime design is a more G1-ish, especially in the head sculpt.
Right.
I don't like I guess it's another like faux cab design. I mean, you can see the real cab on his back.
Mm-hmm.
so it's a little bit weird. Like the grill in the robot mode is clearly not the same grill of the truck in truck mode.
Mm-hmm.
And that always kind of bugs me a little bit. But other than that, I mean, it's a nice figure. It looks really cool. And yeah, both the robot mode by itself and then the combined mode looks nice. So it's a cool figure.
Cool. I just looked it up on BBTS, and this is currently up for pre-order at $134.99. It's a lot, but it looks to be a lot of stuff there. So
yeah, you're getting the Prime and the trailer, right?
That's right. And the trailer is a lot of stuff. So if I remember,
that's perfectly reasonable for that price.
Mm-hmm. And if I remember correctly, that Optimus, when he transforms into just the cab, like the robot mode from just the cab, it's approximately deluxe size height. So it's a good size. It's not tiny, but adding all this stuff on him is going to make him pretty large. What's your overall take, Jeremy?
I mean, overall, I like it. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of the whole like flames and like Charles said, the faux chest. I mean, those things irk me. But I like what they're doing here, and I think inevitably we will get other repaints of this. I mean, you said that they've already used the Prime mold a number of times. Mm-hmm. I could see them repainting the trailer for different iterations of Optimus and, figuring out ways to redo it. And like you said, I'm sure they fit together perfectly, which is great. Mm-hmm. But I mean, if you're into the movie aesthetic, I think it's a great thing for you. If you just want, a good looking G1 Prime with a trailer, that this seems really good. I mean, my biggest issue is just all the lines on the trailer from the transformation, but that can't really be helped because the trailer becomes the wings.
Yeah.
I do like how, you said there was the Air Force insignia and stuff on the trailer. It looks like they also use that same thing on the wings. So, nice tie-in, there to the, whatever like fiction you want to put with it. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, engineering wise, design wise, I think they did a really great job.
Cool. All right, and I do have one more topic here for us this week, and it's from a new company called Rising Force, and it appears that they are doing G1 Stunticons in Drag Strip and Wild Rider. So we have these are just prototypes, but they appeared on their Weibo account, and we see them in a bunch of different poses in their robot and in their alt mode, and they are put in a comparison with Masterpiece Prowl, and we don't see them. We do see them in robot mode and in alt mode comparison, and they are actually a little bit taller in robot mode than Masterpiece Prowl, but in alt mode, Wild Rider is almost the same size, and Drag Strip's actually a little bit bigger, just because of the sheer size of that, the length of that car. But apparently, this company, Rising Force, has already shown off a prototype for a Menosaur. This is another one that does show that the feet are the front of the truck. This is something I don't know whether we talked about a lot before or have talked about before, but it's simply another one of those companies that is doing a Menosaur. It seems to be the character of the year or the last couple of years that third parties are kind of concentrating on. So looking at these guys in prototype form, Jeremy, what's your take on the Wild Rider and Drag Strip here?
I'm tired of Masterpiece combiners.
Okay.
That's my first reaction. In terms of these figures, I think they look fine. And at this point, we've seen so many of these. It's hard to really, I don't know, wrap my head around what makes one better than the other. Mm-hmm. I mean, I do think they did a good job here. It looks like they'll be very articulated. You've got, like, just in the arms on drag strip alone, you have your elbows. It'll turn in the arm, like below the shoulder and above the elbow. It looks like the hands also will be, you can turn. So these will be very posable. Mm-hmm. But, they're just, we've got these before from other companies. I'm just tired of them. I wish that companies would branch out to, other areas of Transformers that haven't been so oversaturated.
Mm-hmm. No, I'm right there with you. The one part about these Stunticons that are all coming out right now that's really starting to confuse me a bit is that they're all going after the G1 aesthetic, which is really making them almost indecipherable from each other for me. So I'll go from this company, Rising Force, and then you've got Fans Toys doing one, and then you've got another one doing another, and somebody will ask you, saying, did you see such and such's, breakdown? I'll be like, yes. I couldn't tell you what I thought of it because I don't know what it looks like right now. I know what Breakdown looks like, but as far as that particular company's, like Toy Worlds, I don't know. They all look the same right now to me. I need to see them all side by side, and then I'll be able to kind of render an opinion or kind of, I'd love to just mess with them all at once, but that seems impossible. Just don't have the budget for that. But it's the fact that they're all going for the exact same aesthetic is really difficult. So if somebody if one of these companies branched out a little bit and went for something a little different, like the original third-party Menasor was from Fans Project, and they just went with real-world cars, and it was really awesome. It was definitely not Masterpiece scale, but it was really cool, and it did pretty well from what I remember. But I have it, and I really like it. But it's not G1, that's for sure. Charles, what is your opinion? Are you of the same mind?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, it seems like not just Masterpiece Combiners. It seems like specifically Masterpiece Stunticons are what everyone's fixating on. And I don't understand. I mean, maybe I guess just because it's easy to scale them with the Autobot cars that are already out on the market. Yeah. And that's probably the easiest way to scale these teams. But yeah, I'm over the Stunticons. These guys look cool. Yeah, I mean, they do look like they are following the animation aesthetic pretty closely, at least judging from these prototypes. So, yeah, they're fine. But yeah, I couldn't tell you this one versus the 5 other Masterpiece Stunticon sets we've looked at over the last few months. It's too much.
Yeah, no, I agree. And need I remind us all that this is not the first time that this has happened. This is not the second nor the third time that this has all happened. We've seen third parties go head to head on Dinobots, on Predakings, on Springer, on everybody. Constructicons. Oh, Devastator. That was the first one. How can I forget Devastator? So yeah, these third-party companies really have for everyone using Weibo or Twitter or, all these other social media apps that they have available to them, they're really piss poor at communication.
The list of, or the like line of dead horses from these companies is very long.
Yes.
They've all been beaten.
Yeah. So we'll see. I am not going to be the be all end all that decides which one is going to be the best, Menasor. That decision will be left to the fandom and much more qualified minds than mine. But that decision will get made at some point, and to the people or the companies, the figures that aren't decided to be the best ones, I feel bad for them, because that's an investment, a large investment in a toy that's may not sell very well. So, yeah. Anyway, that's all I brought to the table this week, guys. Jeremy, you're up.
All right. First thing I have is a story that the Generation Select Red Wing was listed on a site called Everest Wholesale. So obviously this is not Hasbro Pulse, which is where I believe all these Generation Selects are going to be, or I don't know, maybe some are going to be on Amazon. I'm not sure, but the product code for this, if you want to keep track of it, is E5474. And if you're unfamiliar with Red Wing, I mean, shame on you for not knowing this awesome G1 character. This is the Red Seeker that,
Thrust? You mean Thrust?
No, I mean, this is red and black, not red and purple. or I guess Thrust is black and purple.
You mean the mascot of the Detroit Red Wings?
Yeah, whatever. Anyway, this is just one, random seeker that happens to be red and black. He was in the BotCon 23 Machine Wars comic briefly, and he's never actually had a real toy, like, mainline toy until now, because, these Siege figures, we've seen reuse on a lot of molds, but the Seekers are just made to be, repainted over and over. So Generation Select is where this is coming out, and that's probably the best place because it's for collectors. So I'll be interested to see how this goes. Obviously, you don't want to buy it from this Everest Wholesale site. I'm sure they're totally legit, but I would recommend not using them. But what do you guys think? Are you going to try to pick this guy up?
Well, I like the idea of just random, Seekers that have different paint schemes. Mm-hmm. Maybe not in the Siege, mold, but I do like the idea of picking up just a red jet that transforms into a G1 looking Seeker, body. Yeah. But, maybe this Everett Wholesale, maybe they've got a decent shipping, department that can ship it out.
I think they might have, maybe had some boxes fall off trucks.
Oh, okay.
In China or wherever, or Vietnam, wherever the toys are made now. Charles, you gonna try to pick this guy up?
No, I mean, well, I guess one question, I guess maybe the Generation Select line, they get rid of the battle damage that I really dislike in the Siege line. But still, yeah, this Tetrajet Seeker mold, I really am not a fan of. So this is not the mold where I would build a Seeker army.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What I would like to see them do, though, is that G2 was a Thundercracker that's like all the different weird colors. I would like to see them do that with every Seeker mold.
Mm-hmm.
It would be neat to see someone that just collects that single character in all the different molds. But I do want to say, since this is probably going to be a Hasbro Pulse exclusive, I have not had the best experience with Hasbro Pulse. I don't know if you guys have ordered from it, but I pre-ordered the tapes back in February. I think, Charles, you've had yours for a while now.
Yeah, I got mine I think almost a month ago.
Yeah. there was an issue with my order because my credit card got stolen or lost, or I had to get a new number, and I forgot that I'd used that card for this order. They sent me an email saying, "Hey, there's a problem with your billing. Fix it. Email this address, and we'll, get your order out." I did it. Emailed the address. Nothing for about a month, and then like last week, I just checked the update because I've been checking every few days, and it said the order was canceled. I'm like, no, they didn't. So I just sent this angry email, and finally, like, I think I copied customer service on a couple of those, but the address they wanted me to use was not customer service. It was like account updates at Hasbro Pulse or whatever. Finally, like, I got a random call on my phone on Friday, and he basically like apologized, took my card information over the phone, put in a new order. We'll see if I get it. But in the meantime, I saw that Amazon deal where they were the same price, like, $10. So now I'm going to have 2 sets of the tapes.
But still haven't showed up here.
I'm afraid to cancel the order because I did get into that VIP thing at Star Wars Celebration, but through Hasbro Pulse that I didn't actually use because who likes Star Wars toys? I mean, come on. But, I'm afraid to cancel it because I don't want to lose that, Hasbro Pulse VIP thing. But we'll see if a future trip to the store has these tapes from Hasbro Pulse for me. Anyway, moving on. I do have one more thing, and I didn't have that open. In this week's Paladins of Voltron update, we have a third-party Voltron figure that Daryl insisted that I talk about. Mm-hmm. This is from the company Beastmaster. We don't actually know what company it's from, but it's called Beastmaster Reborn 01. And it's a very, very detailed, and as the name implies, it's a bestial version of the lions. And I think it looks fantastic in the combined, Voltron mode. It has the original Voltron look to it, but there are no clean straight lines on it. It's very, like sharp points all over it. And, you can see that like where like a lion would have a mane or something, it's got like, kind of something to emulate that with like spikes. And I think it looks really, really cool. Daryl, you wanted me to talk about this. Mm-hmm. What are your opinions on this guy?
Oh, this thing looks freaking awesome. I mean, you mentioned it, how it looks like sharp. This for an action figure looks like if you were to, grab onto it, it would cut you. It looks dangerous.
It's not a huggable figure.
No, it might be a heroic, character, but this thing looks damn dangerous. I really like the look of it. It reminds me a lot of like a Mastermind Creations figure, mm-hmm. where the characters, the design aesthetic is just very sharp and jagged. The legs on it might be a little too long, but I'm willing to forgive that, seeing as they're made of lions.
Yeah.
So
I would say that they're a little bit too thin.
Okay. Yeah.
That might be.
Maybe that's it.
The bottom legs were always supposed to be thicker than the arms.
Yes. You can tell by looking at the way that it's standing is that there is an ankle tilt in there, where the leg heads are. Mm-hmm. And maybe the arms should be thicker, but I mean, it's lions as appendages. It's, how are you supposed to rationalize this? But I really like the way that it looks. It just looks super badass. We have no information, I don't think, on what this thing costs. We like Jeremy said, we don't really know if the name Beastmaster is the company name or the character, like the figure name. We don't have a lot of information whatsoever.
Be Reborn 01.
Yeah. So, but I really like this thing. I think it looks super badass.
Yeah, we should make sure to try to follow this. Charles, how about you? Are you looking to get in on the 3P Voltron market?
Not really, but this does. I mean, my first pick would be to get a Lego Voltron. I think I missed out on that, but this looks very cool. I mean, like you guys said, it looks very sharp and pointy, and like my skin will bleed if I touch this and hold this figure. But it definitely is a very unique take on Voltron. Like, something I haven't seen. It's
almost like a Voltron from the even more ancient past.
Yeah.
That eventually got updated to the classic look.
Savage Voltron.
Yeah, there you go. Savage Voltron. Yeah, Yoshi will be happy for that reference.
It's a neat design. It's a really cool design. Even the robot mode is very, like, the chest is very jagged and pointy, and lots of sharp lines there. And the sword and everything.
Yeah, we can't really see much of the sword, but the hilt looks really neat. The way it really does look ancient. So yeah. All right. Well, that is what I got this week. Charles, what do you got?
All right. Well, first, I've got this is an action figure. It's not a transforming figure, but it is a very detailed, articulated figure. This is from Movable Metal Arts, and it's an IDW styled Optimus Prime. And Daryl actually pointed me in the right direction on this figure, because of all the posability. Like you can see in the pictures, you can put this Optimus Prime in lots of different poses. Looks like even he's got some of the fingers are even individually articulated there, and he's got a matrix. He can open his chest and pull out the matrix there. And it just looks like it's a really cool figure. It's just a gray prototype, but it's a very nice figure. Daryl, what do you think of this guy?
Well, I wouldn't have pointed it to you if I didn't want to talk about it a little bit. I like it a lot. I think it's really cool. It is unfortunate that it doesn't transform, but it is an action figure nonetheless. It does take a lot to get a transformer body type to do the the superhero landing kind of look, and this thing seems to be able to pull it off no problem. The matrix compartment seems a little squat, like it's a little tight, but all in all, I really do like the look of this thing. It definitely is the Andrew Griffith design from those latter IDW books, but I really do like the way that it looks, it'd be neat to see if we can figure out a price point on this thing, because it's pretty neat. And I think with it being non-transforming, and hopefully it's not insanely tall or made entirely of gold or something. And
there's nothing to tell how big it is.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
So, hopefully it's affordable. That's the main point here, is that, the market kind of, we've got the transforming, toys. We've got some third party, stuff that does the, what we want it to do. We've got statues that are really highly detailed, but they're also super expensive. And we've now started to get the Farai model kits and stuff like that have really brought that kind of thing into the fandom. But we really don't have any kind of super highly detailed, like super action figure kind of things from third party. And we honestly, I don't even know if this is third party. It could be licensed. So,
yeah. I mean, it technically is a third party, even if it is licensed.
True. But yeah, I like it. I think it's cool, and I'd like to see a little bit more from Movable Metal Arts.
Mm-hmm. Jeremy, how about you? What do you think of this guy?
I like it. I think it would be neat. Like, we don't see inside the Matrix chamber, but it would be neat if the Matrix broke apart into two pieces.
Mm-hmm.
Just for that comic accuracy. I mean, I'm not too big on these non-transformable figures, but I mean, if you just want a nice Optimus to pose and display, this is probably going to be really nice. So, and with metal being in their name, I would hope there's metal in this figure. Once they get past this prototype phase.
Yeah, I guess movable plastic arts doesn't sound as nice.
Right.
All right, well, let's talk about another figure I've got here. So this is from Iron Factory. So these are the little legend scaled figures. And we've got, this is their figure EX-43 Heat Death. Which is a interesting name for a version of Transmetal 2 Megatron from Beast Wars. So this is the Dragon Megatron from the end of the Beast Wars series. And this is a really cool looking figure. I mean, the Dragon Megatron is a really neat design, and making it to the legend scale, the hyper detailed articulated legend scale, looks really nice. In particular, I like how his, like in the original Dragon Megatron, his whole arm was the head of the dragon was one of his whole arms. And here it's kind of reworked into almost like a fusion cannon mode, like the original Megatron. Like it's mounted on his wrist rather than just taking up his whole arm, which is a neat little design change there.
Mm-hmm.
And the colors look really nice. This is, I guess, the final color image, and looks really cool in both the robot mode and the dragon mode. So yeah, this is a nice figure. Jeremy, you're my fellow Beast Wars fan. What do you think of this guy?
I love everything about this, from the name to the colors, the translucent orange wings. Heat Death is a great name for a dragon in general. But with the right backlighting, it looks like you could make the wings really, shine in kind of displaying that on fire look. It looks like the dragon head on the arm, you can have it folded up into the fusion cannon mode, or folded out, and it looks like it goes down over the arm, so you can have it both ways.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, this figure looks fantastic. I love it. It's just amazing what they're able to do at the scale.
Yeah. And it does. The story does say that they are working on an optimal Optimus, so you can have both, both leaders of the Maximals and the Predacons, and have them fight it out, just like they did on the show.
Yes.
Exactly. I prefer the Dragon Megatron to Optimal Optimus personally, but yeah. Daryl, what do you think of this guy? I know you're not a Beast Wars fan, but I think you still appreciate this design.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, not a huge Beast Wars fan, but I do give a lot of credit to the toys that they were able to come out with. They did some really good work back then. and I agree with Jeremy wholeheartedly. Heat Death is an incredible name. So I really do like that. And this design, they have really outdone themselves with this design. It's a really powerful design. If you didn't know that it was legend scale, you'd think it was masterpiece scale. This thing is really well done. And I hope that it's not one of those like $70 legends or legend scale figures, but you'd kind of expect to see something like as decent as this at that price point. But if this is around $40 or so, I'd probably think about picking it up. Just because it's just a cool ass design, and those wings, Jeremy was right. Yeah, those wings are just killer. I do have the original one, and it's a really fun toy to mess around with. My daughter loves it, so we kind of mess around with it every now and then. But yeah, the Decepticons, the Megatron design out of Beast Wars, it got all the best designs. Optimus was so lame.
Yep. And this one has no gold plastic syndrome like the regular Transmetal Megatron, so that's always nice. Yeah, just to give you a sense of in your mind how tall this guy is. So the story says it's about 12 centimeters tall, so that's about 4.5 inches. But then has a wingspan of 36 centimeters, which is like over a foot. So
yeah, that's crazy.
Wow,
that's pretty cool. All right, well, that's all the major toy topics I had, but I just wanted to mention another one of those stop motion animations that's being put out by Hasbro Taiwan. This one is featuring Prowl, Sideswipe, and Starscream, and it's again with that fighting video game motif where the two Autobots are versus Starscream. It's a cool video, but they make Starscream a little OP in this video here. It's like he basically takes on Prowl and Sideswipe and mops the floor with them with ease. So it's apparently a really experienced fighting game player versus two scrubs who are playing Prowl and Sideswipe. But yeah, these videos are so cool and just a neat way to promote the toys. So I really think they're cool. I wish they'd do some more over here in the States, with the US Hasbro promotion. So, any thoughts on these videos, Jeremy?
I think they're fun. I wish that they would do some over here, but I'm not really in the market to be seeing a lot of the commercials and stuff that they do over here. I mean, it's not really on any of the stuff I watch. But I think kids, we watched it and it's not even really in English. I think kids would love seeing something like this. Even, just put it on Hasbro YouTube.
Yeah, I mean, they do all the text is in English, so all they'd have to do is change the dubbing and like have someone else do a voiceover. And they could just take this video as it is. So, what about you, Daryl? Was this video a cool little display of the Siege toys?
It's fun. I can totally see why they would do something like this, though. It's they want to sell a toy that like Starscream, and he might not have an appeal in the market right now as older collectors definitely would find it appealing, but younger kids would see it and think, I don't know, it's a jet, sure, but it doesn't look like a jet. So if the people that see this kind of video, they look at it and say, holy smokes, this guy is so strong. The next time they're in the store, they see the figure on the shelf, and they're like, "Oh, I want that guy. He was really cool and he's strong." That's I see it. It's fun. It's a fun video, But yeah, kids would love watching these kind of things.
Yep. All right. Well, that's all our toys for this week. So let's move on to some trips to the store. This is where we show off all the amazing Transformers merchandise we bought this week. We do this as a YouTube video so you can see everything we got in beautiful high definition. But we also will put the audio right here in the show so you can keep listening and listen to us describe all our purchases in loving detail. So without further ado, trips to the store. All right, well, let's talk about the stuff we got this week. So Jeremy, I'm going to start it with you.
All right. I just got one thing this week. It was a very light week on everything. I had a pretty big thing last week. This week, I got Transformers number 4, the cover A. And it's a great cover. This is a Sarah Peter Durocher cover, I believe. And yeah, cover's better than the comic. So,
ouch.
If you want to hear our full view on the comic, listen to last week's Alt Mode.
All right. I guess I'll go next. Jeremy, we're twinsies. I also got the comic. I got Transformers number 4, cover A. Sarah Peter Durocher art. I bagged and boarded mine. Yoshi, you'll be hearing from Yoshi, Jeremy.
So what?
He's never on the show, so
his calls go into that same spam bucket that all those other robocalls go into.
I did hear from Yoshi because I got another postcard. I believe he sent me an RC postcard already, so this is a duplicate. But the signature is not a duplicate because this one is from Margaret Scott. And not only is it from Margaret, it's Margaret Scott yelling at me, which I have to say, this kind of hurts a little bit. And she says, "Shut up, Charles. It's a word."
What did she scratch off the top?
I don't know. It looks like as something. I can't tell.
As it would have been something along the lines of as a, yeah.
As a something I can't find the donator button or something.
Yeah.
But
I think we have our image for the episode for the website.
I have to say,
it's a nice big signature. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's nice. It's just I'm a little hurt. I thought we were friends, Margaret. Not that she's watching this video, but thought we were friends. But clearly,
obviously, she likes Yoshi more.
Clearly, but yeah. But the art is nice. I don't know who the artist is. Sorry, I forget. But it's RC. Should have been a Windblade postcard. Why not a Windblade postcard?
Yeah.
With Margaret Scott. But
Yoshi doesn't believe in her.
In Windblade, not in Margaret Scott.
Yeah. Of course.
All right. That's the stuff I got this week. So I'll throw it to you, Daryl. You're up next. Bring us home.
Well, okay. I'm going to make us triplets. I got the cover A of Transformers number 4. I did bag and board mine, and I also put a piece of tape over the top lip, so mine is sealed. So it's a progression there.
But is that an archival grade board?
It is an archival grade bag. So yeah, I got that. But I also picked this up, and listener of the show, DJ Ronan, was with me at the store when these kind of got discovered, and he might have actually pointed me into this. I forget what happened for the series of events, but this is Studio Series 38, Bumblebee movie Optimus.
Nice.
Yet another movie toy you've purchased.
And this is this is the only other one I really wanted to get. This is the Optimus that really kind of looks like the G1, in interpretation. So yeah, I'm looking forward to kind of opening this thing up and messing with it and seeing how good it is. I haven't done that yet, obviously, but all in all, it seems to be fairly well received. The only other movie toys that I even have my eye on are the ones to complete Devastator. So, and from what I understand, I'm still a ways off from that. So, yeah. But other than that, that's it. I didn't get anything else. Oh no, I did get something, but I'll save it for next week. It's upstairs. Shit.
Saved by the laziness.
Yep.
All right. Well, that's all the stuff we got this week. All right, we're back from our trips to the store, and that'll do it for this episode of Transmissions. Thanks, everyone, for listening, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Later.
Hey everyone, thanks for listening to this episode of Transmissions. But just because this episode is over doesn't mean the Transformers fun has to stop. Join us and other Transformers fans on our Discord chat server by visiting transmissionspodcast.com/discord. If you would like to learn more about how you could support the Transmissions Podcast, just visit transmissionspodcast.com/support. Thank you all for listening, and we'll see you again next week.
All right, ready?
Maximum effort.
Okay. Slap my face. Splash cold water. I don't drink coffee, but thanks.
What is wrong with you?
Oh.
I don't drink coffee. I guess that's what's wrong with me.
He's Mr. Healthy now, right?
Well, I never drank coffee.
Coffee's
so
healthy.
Just never liked it.
I don't drink coffee either, so.
Well, I'm drinking enough for all three of us.
Good.
Boy, the person that edits this episode is going to be pissed about that.
We have seen third parties go head to head multiple times on, I'll get it.
That was one of those spam calls that's been plaguing all of us. I'm Batman.
No one's listening, right? We're not spoiling anything for anybody, are we?
Well, we're streaming to Twitch right now.
Oh, okay.